あ、なんだこのまな板は。このバメンツ。
さっさとお帰りくださいませ。
アンジェリカ、どうしたんだその格好。
いや、これは頼まれて仕方なく。
Episode 7 of Ossan Newbie Adventurer, and I think this was one of the better episodes of the season so far. On a personal level, I was really having a good time watching this, not only from seeing Angelica and our boy getting, closer together, being able to kind of see their relationship grow and, everything that's kind of happened between Rick and between Angelica. Like, I do enjoy seeing that quite a bit, but really what made this episode was the hilarity. I think everything from Angelica being carried by Rene everywhere, like all over the place, and she didn't let her go, like seeing her fucking yak her brains out everywhere was just absolutely hilarious. Seeing her how, like, she was like, oh, do you want to go see Rick's tournament? And she's like, yeah, I do. She's like, okay. She's like, I have a bad feeling about this. And sure enough, she did. That was hilarious. From the fact that they got cornered, or they got, like, I don't know, gaslit or swayed into being like models for like some restaurant and announcing like, hey, come place your bets here and stuff. Like, the fact that they were in bunny outfits was hilarious. The fact that when Rick finally saw them, he was like, oh, hey, look at you. He was like, oh my gosh. He had a reaction to her, but when he saw Rena, he was like, oh my gosh, over the moon, like basically foaming at the mouth. And she's like, what is this reaction? Where's mine? The fact that he had to console her when they went to go eat later. He's like, by the way, you look really, really cute. She's like, it's not good enough. Like, that's hilarious. From the moments that happened, well, Angelica was competing was pretty funny. When Rick was testing out his, 8 abilities of easy or whatever, like, I think the competitors that they kind of flew through was pretty good. Overall, genuinely, I felt like this episode was a really good episode of Ossan Newbie, and I think this was one of the, this is one of the episodes that I was, like, more entertained, or, like, if I had to say, like, oh, how much, how much did I enjoy the episode? This is, like, a 9 out of 10 for me. As far as in comparison to all the other episodes, I would say this is like one of the higher enjoyment episodes. I think episode 1 was really good too. But this is definitely one of the higher ones of the season so far. Just like the comedy was hitting for me. The relationships between Angelica was hitting for me. Finding out more about, Angelica's past and her family passing and her shitty grandpa, and the fact that she's betrothed to some lizard dragon dude or something like that. What's motivating her in this tournament. And then at the end, when she was like, Rick was like, you want me to train you? And she was like, why do I feel like I'm foreseeing my death? Like, just everything that happens episode was really good. There's a but though. And I know, it was coming. The but portion of it, or everything was good, but the one thing with the show is like just the story in general. I think the story that they're putting forth right now with, Rick, basically he's going to go and avenge Angelina, or he's going to help Angelina, he's going to help her, or Angelica, or whatever. He's going to help Angelina, whatever. He's going to help Angelica train and stuff and get avenge, or revenge or avenge. I like that little tidbit of the story. But holistically, his journey to being an adventurer, right? He quickly made it to E rank, and then he pretty much just went into this new tournament. If you realize what happened, he pretty much kicked the idea of really being an adventurer to the side, and then he now is on this new adventure with his S rank party, but he's not considered S rank or whatever. I mean, he's like F rank or something else now. But he's now with the S rank party, and he's helping them on their mission to go and get all of the orbs, basically go collect the Dragon Balls. So he's on that now. But the premise of the show, right, being a newbie adventurer, is pretty much it's done. But that whole journey kind of sucked and made no sense. And then now we're on this secondary thing with the tournament and him fighting the tournament and stuff. And really this tournament arc is just so that they can fight the guy at the end who has a little Orby in his belt, which they could just beat his ass straight up and just steal it and replace it and then just dip out. But they're deciding to go through the motions because reasons, you know? So I think this story, like just the genuine story of Ossan Newbie is really, really trash. I gotta be honest. It's like, you know, I think it's really held up by the characters like Angelica. Like I really like her quite a bit. And I like how she keeps bagging on him, calling him older and stuff, but she really has a crush and she genuinely likes him. And then you have the Rene Rick relationship, which is really, really cool too. And it's like, okay, well, Rene's in love with him. And she was like, even Angelica, this episode called her out, like, oh, what if people think that you're in love with him? Whatever. She's like, that's fine. Like, I have great feelings and, you know, affection for him. You know what I mean? So, like, I want to see that grow. But the overarching, like, actual story, poo-poo. So, anyways, this episode, though, not to go down the weeds of negativity. This episode, though, I thought was a good episode of Ossan Newbie. Now, what does that really mean? Not that much, but, you know, compared to itself, this was one of the better episodes for sure. All right, my friends, that's all I have to say. Can't wait to see what you guys say in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.